Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the one single idea that's really at the heart of Islam. Think of it like the source code for the entire faith. So, here's a thought. What if a whole massive system of belief, law, culture, what if all of that could be traced back to just one powerful idea? Well, for Islam, that's not just a what if, it's the absolute reality.
Right. So, to really get a handle on Islam, you've got to start right here. We're talking about a belief that isn't just, important. It's literally the foundation for everything else. I mean, just think about that for a second. This isn't just one important rule in a long list of rules. No, this is the most important one. It's kind of like the master key that unlocks the whole thing, the foundation that everything else stands on. Okay, so what is this core idea we're talking about? Well, it's monotheism. But in Islam, it's known by a specific, really powerful name, and that name unlocks a much deeper meaning. And that term is tawhid. Now, at its most basic level, tawhid is the absolute, rock-solid belief that there's only one God. One, unique, indivisible, with no partners whatsoever. And this isn't just some abstract idea you agree with, it's the central pillar holding the whole thing up. But, it actually goes even deeper than that. It's not just described as a principle. The source material uses a much more powerful metaphor to really get at its true role in the faith. The very soul. Wow. I mean, that's a powerful way to put it, right? It's basically saying that without tawhid, the faith is lifeless. It's the animating force. You could even say it's the spiritual DNA of Islam. So we're not just talking about a rule you follow. This is the absolute essence of belief itself. And this tree analogy we see here, it lays it out perfectly. So you've got tawhid as the base, right? The core principles are the roots, drawing all their life from that base. And then every single commandment, every belief, every ritual, those are the branches. See how they all grow from that one single unified source? It's a fantastic way to show just how interconnected everything is. And this idea of unity, it just radiates outward from God. It becomes this consistent theme you see everywhere in the faith. For instance, the teachings of all the prophets, they're seen as one unified message. The laws in the holy books, all part of a single divine plan. And even the community itself, the Brotherhood of Muslims, is meant to be a reflection of this ultimate unity. Okay, so if this belief is the absolute soul of the faith, then what's its opposite? I mean, what's the one thing you could do that would strike right at the very heart of Islam? Well, the direct opposite of monotheism is, of course, polytheism. And in this context, it's defined very specifically as setting up partners with God. This is seen as the most fundamental error you can make, a complete and total contradiction of tawhid. And because it's a direct contradiction of the most essential belief, the Holy Qur'an doesn't just call it a mistake. It frames it as the one unforgivable sin. That really, really drives home just how central monotheism is. This verse we're looking at now from the Quran draws a really clear line in the sand. It basically says that, look, other sins might be forgiven, but the act of setting up partners with God, that's in a whole different category. The seriousness of that is just, well, it's totally stark and unambiguous. So where does this all lead? What's the ultimate consequence here? Well, beyond just the definition of sin, another verse talks about the direct, personal outcome for someone who rejects this core idea. Yeah, this passage here frames the whole thing in terms of your personal actions and, well, your salvation. It suggests that if you don't have that correct foundation of tawhid, all your other good deeds basically become fruitless. It's a powerful message, right? The foundation has to be solid or the whole building comes down. So we kind of end up right back where we started. From this single point, tawhid, an entire world is born. A spiritual world, a legal world, a social world. It's what defines right from wrong and what gives everything meaning. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? How can one single belief shape the entire world for billions of people? Thanks so much for joining us for this one.